The movie is Black and Blue. It follows Naomie Harris, who's a rookie police officer. For those that don't remember Naomie was nominated for an Academy Award last year for Moonlight. But basically what happens is on her body cam, she basically witnesses something that she should not have seen. And from that moment on, she's like, hey, this wasn't right. And she wants to expose what she's seen. And the entire force turns on her like, yo, you can't do that. And what she finds out is when she runs to the community's like, yo, you're not welcome here either. And there we have a film, right? Because now she's going like, what is going on here? There's a line between black and blue. And throughout the course of the film, what you begin to find out inside of the action, inside of the high intense chase scenes, inside of all the gunfire, she begins to learn that she has to become the change. You can't change everyone around you, but you can change yourself. And what she's fighting for is something much bigger and much greater than herself, which is to expose these people for what they've done. And along that ride, she runs into to Tyrese Gibson, who is absolutely incredible in this movie. This is like the John Singleton Tyrese. She runs into him. He's a conflicted character. He's trying to figure out if he should help her or not. He has a felony, and basically he's like, against his wishes, he begins to help her. And the relationship between the two of them is just incredible. And they go on this crazy run. And the movie is allowing people to stand up in the theater and cheer. We have people covering their eyes through the film. And it's just, I believe it's the best movie of the year. I'm not just saying that. I'm saying it because it's on message. I'm saying that because it's about something. I'm saying that because it's about being the change. And I'm saying that because it is a fun action thriller from beginning to end. And I'm just excited, man. I need New York City to go see this one. It's happening. It's happening. You don't obviously want to write things like this or be like, oh yeah, I could point to 51 incidents. But it's a movie that is very grounded in reality of what's going on. You know, when we went to New Orleans to work on the film and I was able to do the ride-alongs and go speak to the police officers that have been on the force for 20 and 30 years and to hear the magnitude of corruption, not only in New Orleans, but across the country. That's when you go like, oh man, well, I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? I'm oblivious to those things because you're not really looking or doing the work. And now what's happening is everything is under a magnifying lens where we learn like, oh man, this is corrupt, that's corrupt. Oh my God, they did this and did that. And this movie is not a heavy movie like that where we're like preaching to you about police corruption because she's a cop. This movie is about someone saying, no, if you see something wrong, say something, period. It doesn't matter if you're black or blue. We have to get to a point now to where if you see something and it is not right, if you're a cop on the force and you see another cop do something and it's not right, you got to say, hey, that's not right. Vice versa, right? And that's what she does. And it's a fun movie that way. And outside of that message, that's pretty much where you drive the film. And, you know, like I said, we don't make films to be preachy. We don't make movies for people to, oh my God, I was crying in there. I don't want any of that. I want a movie where you're throwing popcorn in your mouth, you're eating M&Ms, and you're going like, man, this is incredible. But when you leave the theater, you go, man, that was a great message. That's the types of movies we want to make. Well, working with Naomie Harris, which is, you know, obviously she's one of the best actresses of our time. From 5 or 6 James Bond movies to 28 Weeks Later to Moonlight. She is a very special actress. And when we first got on set in New Orleans and I teamed her up with Tyrese, there was a giant wall that had to be built, that was already built there because she's actually English. And Tyrese is from Watts. And seeing the two of them begin to work and figure out and find these moments was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen as a filmmaker. And to see Naomie actually take the rides with police officers and learn about what's going on in New Orleans. And, you know, at the end of the day, she had a book this thick of all the notes and all the things. And to see her just process that, talk to other African-American female cops, this was like part of the process, but it was the most beautiful process of the entire film. And then when we say action and you see Tyrese and Naomie opposite each other, both on 2 different sides of the line, right? For the first couple of acts, like they won't come together. And then by the end of the film, you see them just come together as a hand, you know, a folding hand. And it's a beautiful film that way. And their performances were incredible. There's a scene in the movie between Naomie Harris and Tyrese that's inside of a liquor store, a convenience store. And it's so powerful and it's so moving. You could hear a pin drop in the theater all across the country. Everywhere we go, I say it's quiet. And those moments are very hard to capture in film. It's the only quiet moment in the movie where you go, oh my God, that was moving. But it is those moments that make Naomie and Tyrese incredible. And I'm really pushing for Naomie to get an Oscar nod for this film. This being the first time we've ever had an African-American female lead play a police officer in film history, and for her to actually play a role like this is incredible. So we're telling everybody, man, if you're a critic, if you're out there and you watch the film and you understand the culture, this is a movie that she needs to be awarded for. She is absolutely brilliant in this one.